When one has a 3D printer, one 3D prints everything they need for the 3D printer and their 3D printing space. That's what I'm doing today. I'm talking filament racks. I'm talking the storage tool system that's going to go right on the side of my 3D printer, and of course some upgrades for the AMS. Let's do it. Okay, so we're getting all the tools put on the side using the honeycomb storage wall or wall system, whatever it's called. It's what everybody uses, and it seems pretty darn sturdy. I did print this in PLA at first, and I found that especially on the edge where it attaches to the top, it was cracking. So I reprinted it in PETG, and that seems much better. Then these little hooks, got a variety of them, but honestly, there's a hook for everything. Anything and everything you can think of, there's a hook for it. I want to get all of the filament up off of the shelf and onto the wall here. So I printed 4 of these. I'll leave the STL link in the description, but I'm going to put them along the wall, and then I bought some PVC pipe to go in the 2 holes, and that should be more than enough strength to hold all of those rolls and then some. I want to make sure I'm able to easily get the rolls off. So I have it here. I don't want the TV to get in my way. Yeah, it's kind of perfect. All right, so now that I know how high, I got to figure out where the studs are, and then I can draw a straight line with a level to all of the spots I want to put the mounts. Okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll see how about 6 feet. All right, I'll go get a level. I always feel like my eyeballs are calibrated, and I am going to get it right every time. But then I never do. So one, 2, 3, and this one. I am a little concerned about the fact that I printed them sideways, right? And it makes the most sense for this being strong. However, there's really no good direction to print it to make this part really strong. So no matter what, if the filament's lined up like this, it could split. And if you do it this, like if you print it this way, standing up, the filament would be able to split easily here and here. But as it is, it would be like right there. So It said these things are rated for like 170 pounds. That seems ambitious to me. I did say don't test that, but I'm thinking, my studs are really far apart in this basement. They're like 2 feet apart. I'll be able to get 4 in a 6-foot section. Well, 8-foot section. Wait, are they 2 feet apart? Now I'm confused. I've confused myself. Yeah, they're 2 feet apart. Yeah, 2, 4, 6. That's what it is. It's the 2 ends. You know, sometimes the math ain't mathin', but I'm hoping that's enough. It does make me a little nervous because I've never used 3D printed parts for bearing weight. See everybody do it, so I know it's doable. It just feels a little risky to me. Normally I would do something like this with a metal bracket of some kind, but I'm trusting the process. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm trying not to over tighten it because I am tightening it on plastic, but I want this earth all by myself. I'm doing drugs that I have. My voice is nothing when I scream out for help. I stretch my hand, but my grip just goes up. All right, I know it's going to be 6 feet. The question is, how long do I cut the poles? Because I have PVC, and PVC, especially this because it's 1 inch, PVC is flexible a little bit. There's not a lot of space in between, but I feel like it might still have a little flex in between each of these. So I want to make sure it has a little extra on both ends so that if it does flex, it doesn't come out of this. Thinking maybe 6 foot 4 inches, an extra 2 inches outside, just to be safe. Yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna do that. This is the tricky part, getting it fished through. I'm trying not to bend these sideways because that's where they are weakest. So just do it nice and slow.
I want to shine through myself. I'm doing drugs that I have. My voice is nothing when I scream out for help. I stretch my hand, but my grip just goes on.
Twisting it is key. Alright, I want the words to be in the back, and there we go. I did order some resealable airtight Ziploc bags for these. They come with an air pump to pull the air out of it. I got a whole bunch of the color indicating orange silica beads and some of the little moisture meter things so I can keep track of how much moisture is getting on my filament, but those haven't got here yet. It's empty. These are just extra rings for putting on the cardboard spools like these. Not a whole lot of that left. These are PETG, so PETG I'm going to put on this end so I can kind of keep it separate, organized. So my plan is to build, eventually, not today, to build a nice shelving unit here, a nice spot on top for the printer to go. So if I do this down here, I'm not going to be able to fit the printer. I don't want it super low. But even if I measure now, like, it's going to need to be right about there anyway. I don't want it any lower than that. So what I might do is another setup like this, but stop it maybe there. Something like that. Okay, so I've been just throwing the silica bags in here every time I open a roll, and it is 36, there we go, 36% humidity. Outside is 27, so I'm not sure those silica bags are helping much, but it's definitely more humid in there. So I just printed these off. They fit these little Amazon humidity meter things really well, and I'm about to fill them up and throw them in, and then we'll see if the 36% goes down. You ever play that claw game as a kid where there's like the toy and you gotta try and get it with a claw? Because that's very much what this feels like. I misjudged how difficult this would be. I can't fit my hand in. Oh, finally got it. Yeah, this isn't as easy as I thought. All right, it's in there. Now, I'll give it a few minutes to adjust. That's the one that was in there. I'll let them both adjust and see what they say now, if it changes. It was 32 in there, it was 26 out here. So, and when I got these, I had them side by side and they were the same. So, I don't know, it'll be interesting. Okay, so it's the next day. I put a second one here just to make sure that they were pretty close to each other, that, you know, they're working right. And the outside ones are saying 30 to 31. Also, I printed this last night, it's pretty cool. But inside is now at 16% humidity. So these little things are definitely doing their job way better than just collecting all of the packets from the spools and throwing them in there. I mean, it's at like half of what it was. So if you're wondering if it actually makes a difference, it really does. Unfortunately, when I put these in, I found out that down at the bottom here, you can see that it is a little bit, it's like it didn't get clicked all the way in when they assembled this. So the bottom is up a little bit there. I tried to push it in using, well, I was using this thing and I was just trying to like push it down, and I ended up breaking this. And so now a piece of that plastic is down there too. But that makes it to where this last piece doesn't quite fit in there right. So I'm gonna have to find a way to get in there and fix it, preferably without having to disassemble this entire AMS, but it's really hard to reach that spot. So that makes it difficult. And now I have to get that little piece of plastic out of there too, because that might be in the way when that actually clicks down into place. So if you know a way to fix it, just, you know, let me know down below. That'd be great. Okay, so AMS done. It's fantastic. Love it. Filament rack done. Fantastic, and I love it. Storage on the side, it is done. I've got hooks for everything. There is literally a hook for every tool that one might need. And if you just look up HSW hooks, you're gonna see there's just a plethora. I've got a bunch of extras printed out right in here so that if I come across anything else I need to set up, I've got a hook already printed. I just gotta pick the right one. So that's fantastic. Fancy little decoration to customize because, yeah, why not? Everything's going blue. When I started, I had the sample roll that came with it, and it was green and orange. I started printing in those because those were the first two I opened, and then I quickly realized that was silly because blue's my favorite color, and this room is like gray and blue. Those are kind of the themes of it. So I'm printing everything in blue. I'm gonna end up printing a new poop bucket for it that is blue, but for now that one's working. I also have a couple of tools on this side here, just because there are so many tools, and you know, I already had those printed from before, so I just kept it going. There's still a little bit of space down here. I could put something else, but for the most part, this is pretty loaded. And you know, I had the space. There's nothing else going on over there. I also printed this little cap thing to cover. That's where the micro SD card is. But you know, this is a basement and it gets dusty, so I just want to keep all the dust out. I also want to cover all of these ports that, like this one right here actually covers that hole. I just want to cover all of those little ports because anywhere there's a port, that's somewhere where the fumes from whatever you're printing can come out, and I'm trying to make sure they all go through the filter that's in the back, which I did upgrade that filter, and I'm going to be printing another filter that attaches to the back over here just to make it a little bit more safe, maybe. So it all turned out fantastic, and on to the next one. Thanks for watching.